Remember when you were a kid and you went to a restaurant and you were stoked when they gave you a kid's menu along with an activity book and crayons and you just doodled away? Well, I'm sure when you think back on those special moments, it brings a smile to your face. Well, it looks like in an effort to recreate those fond childhood memories, federal bureaucrats have published an activity book of their own. Just when you were beginning to think that Uncle Justin and his motley crew didn't care, they surprise you and go and publish a 26-page activity book for children between 6 and 12 years old in order to both entertain and educate the little rascals about euthanasia, of course. Better known to those of you still alive as MAiD, Medical Assistance in Dying, which serves as another bludgeoning tool in Canada's ongoing commitment to providing Canadians the finest in healthcare coast to coast. Now, in case you were worried, parents, this book is not intended for children seeking to commit suicide, given Canadian law does not permit minors to take part in programs to end their lives, unlike programs, of course, that do allow them to reassign their gender. This lighthearted, whimsical little book, according to the bureaucrats, is for young people who have someone in their life who may have MAiD. The book describes euthanasia in terms that are mechanistic and devoid of morality, saying it is the use of medicine to stop a person's body from working. Is it just me, or does it seem like the pharmaceutical industry has really been hitting it out of the park with medicines that stop a person's body from working lately? The book tells the children that euthanasia is a final measure intended to be used for consenting adults afflicted with an illness or disability that hurts their body or their mind so much that it feels too hard to keep living. According to the book, page 6, it says, this includes people who are disabled. There's that word again, feels. Not sure if the authors of the book and the program realize that from time to time, feelings do change. The illness or disability may have made it so that they cannot enjoy life or do the things that they have always loved to do, the book says. It may have made it too hard to keep living, even though they care a lot about the people in their lives. How's a 7-year-old going to interpret this? Well, once I'm not happy and can't do the things that are fun, it's time to stop my body from working. Because after all, that's what life's all about, right? I mean, adversity, unhappiness, difficulties, and challenges, that's not part of the deal, right? Children are instructed not to attempt to change the mind of a family member who has chosen suicide. The book goes on to say, as much as other people may want to change their mind, the person who is choosing MAiD probably wishes just as strongly that they could change their illness or condition and how it is affecting their life. Makes total sense. I mean, if you were to tell a loved one thinking of doing this how much you loved them, cared for them, and needed them, why, that could potentially change their mind by making them realize how valuable they are to others. And then guess what? They wouldn't off themselves. Where's the joy in that, huh? Bioethics writer Wesley J. Smith criticized the book as potentially damaging to children. I quote, the whole euthanasia agenda is gut-wrenching, morally destructive, and wrong. Smith wrote in National Review, it not only ends the life of despairing people who are abandoned by the it's your choice deflection, but as this book illustrates, has the potential to seriously impact the emotional well-being of children in the family who watch as their loved ones' killing is discussed, planned, and executed. If I were a kid and that happened to somebody I loved, I'd never want to see a doctor again, Smith added. Canada's voluntary euthanasia program called Medical Assistance in Dying became legal in 2016. The program is part of Canada's healthcare system, and I would say an integral part. To receive euthanasia, patients experiencing intolerable suffering must sign a written request expressing their wish to end their life. In 2021, more than 10,000 people chose euthanasia, an increase of over 32% from the previous year, accounting for 3.3% of all deaths in Canada. According to the latest report on medical assistance in dying from Health Canada, 17.3% of people also cited isolation or loneliness as a reason for wanting to die. In 35.7% of cases, patients believe that they were a burden on family, friends, or caregivers. The Canadian program describes itself as dying with dignity, but as I always tell you, follow the money and see who wins. Well, according to a study published in the Journal of Canadian Medical Association, the Dr. Kevorkian protocol could lower annual healthcare spending across the nation by between $34.7 million and $136.8 million, not to mention the carbon footprint, right, Justin? Assisted suicide is becoming normalized in Canadian society. Last month, the Canadian clothing retailer Simons took down a commercial it had commissioned celebrating what it called the hard beauty of assisted suicide. It later emerged that the woman featured in the ad, Jennifer Hatch, had sought MAiD only after the BC medical system failed to provide her with appropriate care for a rare disease. The hard beauty of assisted suicide, you mean like a cherry casket? In closing, I'll leave you with this little coinky-dink. Every country that has legalized euthanasia also has government-funded universal health care. Anyway, the link to the activity book is in the notes section below if you want to download it or show it to your kids or maybe burn it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Please post any comments you have in the comment section. You can always follow me on my Rumble, on my Locals account. Subscribe to my Rumble's channel because you know what? Sometimes YouTube ends my existence on YouTube for something I've said, and you never know when that could happen. So, like I said, share your comments, check out some of my past videos, and I will see you next time.